Hi everyone, let's talk about Outlander Season 3, Episode 13, Eye of the Storm, which is also the season finale. I don't know if I should woo for the season finale because that means it's also like no more Outlander after this, but yeah. Now, as I mentioned, I am traveling for the holidays, hence the different background, but you know, I made it on time, so that's the good news. Anyway, let's start with some quick thoughts. I think in last week's episode I was already talking about Mr. Willoughby and Margaret Campbell's love story, I guess it's a love story now. And in this episode it just kind of continued and I was like, these two are just too cute together. Can we have like a spin-off or something of them doing their thing? I don't know, I just thought it was really adorable. And then now that, you know, her brother is dead, I guess they can just go off and, you know, be together and be happy forever and ever. Outlander 2.0. I also want to talk about Lord John Grey's amazing saving of Jamie, because, you know, I wasn't really sure how they were going to get out of it at the end of last episode. I mean, I never know how they're going to get out of things, but I just love that he was like, oh, Jamie was arrested. Oh, and Fergus went to tell him that Jamie was arrested, and he's like, right, so do you have like a warrant? Do you have paper? No. Oh, that's too bad. Also, it's too bad that your power ends when you're out of the water. See, and I'm the kind of boss here, so yeah, just go away. And Captain Leonard was just like, but no, I swear he really is guilty. And you know, Lord John Grey obviously knows that he's guilty. He's like, yeah, but I kind of love him, so you can't have him, and he's kind of the star of the show, so you can't have him. So yeah, that whole scene I just loved. But I just hope we'll see Lord John Grey once again. I feel like we have to see Willie grown up at some point. I'm guessing maybe next season. Now let's talk about the big event in this episode, and that's Geillis and Claire's facing off, which was amazing. At first there's kind of like a quiet, not quiet, but like subdued meeting between the two. You know, obviously Geillis thinks that, you know, Claire is here to kind of foil her plans, which is ironic because Claire is like, no, really, I was gone and I just came back for Jamie. I have no idea what you're talking about with the sapphires, with the prophecy. But of course that leads to Claire showing Geillis pictures of Brianna to kind of prove to her that she's been gone and she's really not trying to mess with her plan, which, you know, now I think someone corrected me in my previous review that it wasn't like when a 200-year-old baby was born, it's at the death of that baby, which then in that case is definitely Brianna. Obviously, as we found out in this episode, the baby is Brianna, and then the prophecy says that the day Brianna dies, then the new King of Scotland will rise. So of course Geillis is like, oh, that's why, you know, fate and Claire and we're all been brought together so that the prophecy can be fulfilled, and I need to go kill Brianna. As a side note, I do think it's interesting the different ways in which Claire and Geillis go through the stones. I mean, for Claire, she just kind of goes through, there's never any sacrifice, never anything, you know, negative or evil kind of done to get there. And then I think love is kind of what's getting her through in a way, right? That's kind of pulling her through. On the other hand, you have Geillis, who kind of became so evil. Like when we met Geillis in the first season, I definitely did not expect her character to become this kind of like, ooh, okay, she's crazy. Geillis, on the other hand, has had to sacrifice people. I mean, she even sacrificed her husband. She was gonna sacrifice Ian. She's just like, I need to do this and I don't care how I get to it. So a lot of her going through the stones is associated with something evil, something bad. And I think that kind of led to her end. Speaking of her end, one, I did not expect her to die this quickly because we barely just, you know, saw her again. Like within 2 episodes, she's like, I'm back, I'm dead. And then 2, she really is that skeleton that Joe showed to Claire earlier this season. However, even though I guess that she would be that skeleton, I did not think that the person that killed her would be Claire. Like, that's kind of like, what? It's insane. And even Claire is like realizing, oh shit, murder solved 200 years ago. So yeah, Geillis is gone, Ian is saved, Jimmy and Claire are still together, which, you know, I want to bring one last point from the cave is that it seemed like the portal was calling Claire through, and I wonder if it was the pull from Brianna that was calling her through it, and also maybe the pull from her time, you know, she's just kind of out of time, out of sync within the right order of things, I guess. But I like that Jamie was kind of the one that anchored her back into his time, and I think that's the only reason that she's able to stay is because, you know, Jamie is there to kind of keep her there. And now we're back on the ship, trying to go get back to Scotland. Unfortunately, things don't really turn out that well, and there's a huge storm that hits the ship. I have to say, every time that I watch like disaster movies or anything that has to do with ships, I love watching those things. But those huge waves that always inevitably happen at some point always scare me so much, because I don't know, I just like, it's just so impressive. Like, I just like, can you imagine having like this huge of a wave coming at you? I mean, I think it's impressive when they're like this high. So, right, like this high. So yeah, I was like, shit. And then you have the whole like, you know, he saves her and all of that. That was cool. And I actually really love the imagery of them being in the eye of the storm, which is the title of the episode. Yeah. I think it's also very symbolic, as in Jamie and Claire are at the center of everything that happens in the show, right? Although I have to admit, when that was happening, I thought they were gonna end the episode there, and I just thought, really? Are we gonna end the season in a reverse Titanic way? Like, as in, Jamie is Rose and then Claire is Jack, you know, almost dying kind of thing. But no. We actually get to America, more specifically Georgia. Woo, we made it. I mean, they made it. But we don't really know what happened to everybody else. We do know from the people that they meet that there is one person that survived that we know of for sure, and it's a him. So I'm hoping it's Fergus, just out of selfish reasons, because I want to see more Fergus. But then I think about Ian, and then how sad Jenny and Ian would be if he died, so I'm like, I'm hoping there's more survivors than one. But yeah, so that's pretty much how the season ends, which kind of sucks. That's just how season finale are, so we're gonna have to wait quite some time until the next season, until next year. Probably fall, I'm guessing, since that's when they started this season. Hopefully it'll be sooner. But yeah, so we still have to wait. Overall, I enjoyed this season. I think I enjoyed the first half of it a bit more than the second half. The whole thing with Frank and Claire, for some reason, really appealed to me when they were like separated. Ironically, I enjoyed when they were separated better than when they were together. Actually, I did enjoy like the reunion and all of that. I think from the ship thing wasn't my favorite part of it. But you know, still love the show. Of course, I would love to know what you thought of this episode in the season. You know, are you upset about how they left us this season? Who do you think survived from the ship? Let me know in the comments. I want to thank you guys so much for watching my reviews, you know, liking, commenting, all of that this season. It's always fun to talk about it, of course. And there will be one more video coming up on my channel this year, which will be a favorites video, which I haven't done in a while. So I'll kind of wrap up the year. So keep an eye out for that. But until then, if you want to chat more about TV or anything, or Outlander, you know, you can always find me on Twitter at Sandrine. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!